start the show. Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. I want to officially welcome you to my show. Today is Tuesday, January 8th, 2013. And I want to welcome you to Reinventing Motherhood, show all about helping you look and feel your best with simple solutions, support, health tips, lifestyle tips, organization tips, anything and everything that a mom would hopefully like to learn and to get to kind of organize your life a little bit and to feel better. And every show is full of hopefully some just good advice, some good chatting. So for those of you that are joining us in the chat room, like I said before, make sure that you hop on over and say hi so we can see you and talk to you. Hi, Amy. Today's show, which is kind of fitting, obviously, is all about New Year's resolutions. So unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, a lot of people come up with New Year's resolutions every year. It's actually about half of all Americans, 45% of all Americans come up with New Year's resolutions, write them down, they're really excited. Unfortunately, only 8% of all those people actually achieve them. Most people give up within the first 6 months. So the statistic isn't all that great, but that doesn't mean you cannot achieve your goals. I think, and hopefully we'll talk about this today, it's all about kind of having a new approach. I think most of us come up with the same resolutions every year, and we do it the same, we go about it the same way. And that's a definition of insanity, by the way, is doing the same thing over and over and over, yet expecting different results. So if every year you go into it saying, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to get to the gym every single day, and then after the first month, you're kind of like, forget it. You give up. You're kind of setting yourself up to fail, which I don't want you to do. And so it's maybe kind of going into it with a fresh perspective, coming up with some new goals, some things that you're excited about, instead of necessarily getting to the gym every day. A new resolution could be, my resolution is to be healthy and fit. So that feels better, in terms of maybe eating healthier and maybe taking some fun classes, but not, I'm going to get to the gym every single day, because I know that's just not going to happen for me. And so you don't want to set yourself up to fail. So coming up with, again, resolutions that are achievable and realistic. So yes, Mom TV, you do not want to be part of the 8% bracket that do not achieve them. So for those of you that are in the chat room, tell me if you feel like, what's your track record when it comes to resolutions? Do you feel like you achieve them every year? You have a really good track record in terms of when you come up with resolutions, you do really well? Or do you feel like that the majority of us, that we have really good intentions and then it's just really hard to follow through? I would love to kind of hear where you guys are and what you're doing this year to kind of jumpstart 2013, so you are not in the bracket of people that fail within the first 6 months. So yeah, so in terms of that, I think that you were saying, Amy, you're fairly good. You taped yours to your bathroom mirror. Yes. And trying to make your resolutions attainable. That's great, Randy. I think so many of us come up with these really lofty resolutions. We want to lose all this weight and pay off all this debt and, increase all of our revenue, which sounds really good, but it's sometimes hard to keep that level for long term. Whereas if you can break it down into bite-sized chunks, things that are much more doable, it feels better. Instead of losing 50 pounds, just focus on the first month or the first week, what you can do, in terms of losing 2 pounds a week, and do that consistently so you don't focus on that big number. You said, Amy, you have one family, one business, and one personal, I'm assuming is what you meant, one personal goal this year. And I think that also that we come up with like this laundry list of goals, everything we want to achieve, and it's just overwhelming. So again, like you said, if you can come up with a couple goals that feel really good and really doable, you're going to achieve them much more so than coming up with a bunch of really big, lofty goals. So I think the first tip too is to kind of reflect on 2012. So what did 2012 bring for you? Meaning, like, what are you proud of? What did you succeed in? What do you want to continue for 2013? As well as reflecting on maybe what you would have liked to have changed or what you would like to improve. Maybe you had such a jam-packed schedule that you really didn't focus on your health and well-being, or you didn't have any time carved out for your friends, or you were eating really unhealthy foods because you didn't really organize your time that well and you just didn't prepare. So I think the first tip is to really reflect, because we learn from our past and we're going to continue doing the same things and be consistent with our habits unless we really reflect and intentionally make some changes. So like Mom TV said, thank you, by the way, for putting everything in the chat room so you guys can kind of jot this down, but reflect on what you did well, because instead of just focusing on what you could have done better, I think a lot of us need to pat ourselves on the back for, you know what, I did a good job on X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to continue putting energy into that area of my life. So that is the first tip, is to reflect. Oh, hi. Hey, everybody, say hi to Tammy. It's my sister. I don't think she's literally ever been to one of my shows, so I'm like ecstatic right now. Everybody say hi to Tammy. She's in Indianapolis. Hi, Tammy. We're talking about New Year's resolutions, and Tammy is actually a psychotherapist and probably the most insightful person I know, the smartest woman I know. You guys should ask her some questions about all of this. She could probably give some good advice as well. Yes, you've seen my show maybe once, Tammy, but this is a good one. We're talking about resolutions. And Randy, you're in India as well. Wow, what a small world. That is a small world. So the first tip is to reflect. All right, so after you do that, I think it's important to come up with, again, some realistic goals in terms of, like we said, not some huge lofty goals that you're going to pay off $20,000 in debt and you're going to lose 30 pounds and you're going to do this, you're going to do all of this by the third month of the year. But be really realistic with your goals. Really, like, talk them through with somebody else and make sure that they're doable, that you're not coming up with these goals that you're not going to be able to reach. Because I think over and over we do that, and when we can't achieve them, it obviously kind of chops away at our spirit and chops away at our self-confidence, and then eventually we just kind of throw in the towel and say we give up. That's why most people hit that 6-month mark and they just revert back to old habits. Yes, Mom TV, we could have a little family affair. Exactly. She would be wonderful at that. She would never agree to it, but yes, I would love for her to do that with me. So come up with some realistic goals. So for those of you that are in the chat room, what would be like one realistic goal I would love for you to share with us that you feel like you could carve out time for, that you feel like I have room in my life to embark on this, a realistic goal of just maybe getting rid of soda, just getting rid of soda in my life is a very small, doable goal. Or maybe just being active for 15 minutes a day instead of saying you're going to go for an hour every day. And maybe that's just going for a walk or meeting a friend, doing a little bit of yoga at home or putting in a DVD, whatever it may be. What would be some realistic small goals that you guys would love to put on your plates and would love to work on? Obviously, like I said, the majority of these goals that most people come up with is health related. Tammy, you're way too kind. You need to be my little cheerleader. She's my cheerleader. We could have a whole show just going back and forth about both of us saying how the other person is better. So we have that kind of relationship. But so come up with realistic goals and share them and make sure they're realistic, because they may seem realistic to you, but they may not be. So that is the first tip, on top of reflecting. The next one is to plan ahead. So many of us, hey Connie, everybody say hi to Connie. She's actually here in Denver, so she's in my hometown. And Connie, say hi to Tammy. Tammy is my sister. You guys can all say hi to each other. I'm giving her a big shout out because she's never on my show. Second one is to plan ahead. So I want you all to envision you have this plate, right? And everything you have in your life, everything that you have going on, from work to kids to extracurricular activities to volunteering to time, managing the household, like everything you have on this plate. And then we get to New Year's and we say, well, I'm just going to add a bunch more to this plate. I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm going to start eating healthier, and I'm going to see my friends more, and I'm going to take more, better care of myself in terms of self-care. And you just pile more onto this plate without really cleaning up the plate first, and then everything just falls off the plate. So that's, again, setting yourself up to fail, that we don't make room in our life for our goals. You need to really clean up your life first. Get rid of maybe some activities or some commitments that you're not that excited about anymore. Maybe it's okay to move on or to delegate or to do them not as often. Make room for your goals. You need to really look at this plate and what you have in terms of commitments and make room for it, and then prepare and plan ahead of time. So look at your schedule, look at your week, your month, what you have in terms of time commitments, and how you're going to plug in all these other things you want to do. So I'm glad you guys are all saying hi to each other. That is very nice. Yes, and I thank you, Karen. You're saying you love the idea to move on from previous needs. It makes sense. Yeah, I do think that sometimes we just feel, we've made a commitment and we're just going to keep doing it. And it might not light you up anymore. You might not be as passionate about it anymore. So it's okay to part ways. It's okay to make room for somebody else to step in and do it that maybe is excited. Once it runs its course, it's time to move on and put your energy into something else that feeds your soul and that excites you. So like I said, whether it be you just kind of let it go altogether, or you delegate it to somebody else, or you back off in the amount of time you're devoting to it, that's okay. We all have free will in terms of how we're spending our time and where we want to put our time and energy. So yes. Thank you, Tammy. I know life really does go by quickly, so you really need to be conscientious in terms of how you're spending your time. Otherwise, we're just kind of like a gerbil in a cage, and we just get up and we go every day without being really conscious of where we're going and what we're doing and what's taking our time and energy. So be really open and aware of what's getting your energy, because your energy is really valuable. So next tip is to reward yourself. And Connie, yes, a lot of people's mistake of this is not revisiting your goals too often, which I will be helping you with. I'm excited. I'm going to be working one-on-one with Connie, so I will be holding you accountable. So you will be revisiting those goals often. But it's important to set up a little reward system. Have something that you're working towards, whether it be you lose some weight and that you get to maybe do a little bit of shopping, or you save a lot of money and then you have a special night where you can just reward your accomplishment. Like, have some reward that means something to you that you're working towards, or have a little like cookie jar, put little pieces of paper of a bunch of different little rewards that would mean something to you. Maybe go get a massage, or you get to go spend a night out with your husband, or you want to go try this new restaurant, or whatever it may be, and put a bunch of different rewards into this jar. And then when you hit a goal, you get to pick something out of the jar. So yes, I do put sticky notes everywhere. And vision boards, by the way, which I'm a very, very big believer in. And I have mine for 2013, the blank one, that is on my to-do list for this week. because I do feel like a vision board is a great way to put visually what it is you want to create and manifest in your life, and have fun with it. Download pictures, put little sayings, put little words, have fun with it, because I can't tell you how many times I've done these. And by the end of the year, I look back and realize, wow, the majority of these things were manifested somehow. So a vision board is a great idea. So Randy, you said your big goal is preparing your son for a new baby. Okay. That is a big goal. That's a big transition. So breaking it down for him so he understands kind of what's going on. All right. So another tip for you guys, we talked about being realistic, planning ahead, rewarding yourself, is to get support. Here is a very important tip. The easiest way to set yourself up to fail on your New Year's resolutions is not to tell anybody. And I'm going to say that again. The easiest way to set yourself up to fail when it comes to your resolutions is not to tell anybody. That way, if you don't do it and you don't achieve anything, nobody knows. It's kind of like your little secret, so it's not a big deal, right? Whereas if you tell the world, you put it out there, you tell your friends, you tell your family, you put it out on social media, what your goals are, other people are going to hold you accountable, and it's going to be that little thing on your shoulder that's kind of that nitpicky little voice that's going to push you a little bit to follow through. Yeah, Connie, I'm sure your husband does wish that you would stop telling him his goals. I think that it's good to hold each other accountable, but they also have to be open to that, and they have to want that, because if he does not want to change and follow through, then it's going to be that little nagging voice that maybe is going to steer him in the wrong direction. So he needs to kind of find that desire within himself to really make some changes. And you can check in every now and then, but you focus on yourself and achieving your own goals, and I guarantee that's going to have more of an impact. Seeing that you're happier, you're healthier, you're losing weight, that's probably going to impact him more than you actually saying and asking him about his goals. And we will talk all about that tomorrow. So yes, get support. So put it out there and share with the world what your goals are, whether it be that you start a blog, you put it on Facebook, you tell your friends. But if you really want to achieve your goals, that's a very good tip to hold you accountable, because keeping the secret to yourself is just an easy way to give in and not to do it. All right, the next tip is to anticipate slips. So how many of you have started with different goals in your life to lose weight or to eat healthier or whatever it may be, and then you hit a slip and you just give up altogether because you just kind of figure, what's the point? This is too hard. I knew I couldn't do it, that little mental dialogue that goes on in your head. I'm sure all of you have done that. And I think a good way to set yourself up to succeed is to anticipate what those slips could be. What are some things that could come up to really kind of, derail you a little bit? Maybe you're trying to eat healthier and you know that you have a lot of family events coming up where you guys just meet and eat, or you're going on some trips where you're going to eat a lot, or you're going on a cruise. What are some things that you can anticipate could be hard? Because if you can prepare and plan ahead of time, it's going to really help you in terms of staying on track. And also knowing that it's okay to slip up, it's okay to have a bad day or a bad week, and that doesn't mean you have to completely let yourself get derailed. It's giving yourself a little bit of support and knowing that, you know what, I had a bad night, I had a bad week, but I'm really staying focused on my goals, and I'm not going to let that derail me, and I'm not going to be that percentage of people that give up within the first 6 months. So I think that if you can look ahead, kind of look to the future a little bit, I think that will help. And just like you said, Tammy, yes, self-compassion is a biggie. I think as women, we're very hard on ourselves, and we tend to expect a lot from ourselves. And when we don't do well and when we don't achieve certain things, we see everybody else in our life and it looks like they're doing better. and they're, you know, they're smarter, they're prettier, they're healthier, they're losing weight, whatever it may be. And it's just really tweaking that self-talk that we have going on and having a kinder voice. You know, be talking to yourself the way you would talk to your best girlfriend, because you would never talk to your girlfriend that way in terms of you're a failure, you always give up, you can't do it. You just would never talk to your friend that way. So try to think of yourself as your new best friend in terms of the way you talk to yourself, and get rid of that little devilish voice that tries to knock you down. Okay, so here is some other fun tips. I think for a lot of us, many of our goals are to get healthier, right? I'm sure everybody watching right now and in the chat room, yes, 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 I want to get healthier. There's some really great apps that you can put on your phone. Hi, Sonia. That will support you now, whether you have an iPhone or a smartphone. There's so many free apps out there that will really be like your cheerleader in your pocket, that will hold you accountable and that will give you really great tips to feel your best and to get healthy. And if you guys have any that you love, I would love for you to put them in the chat room to share with everybody. I'm going to share a couple of them. But I would love for you to put the ones that you use. And then I'm going to also go ahead and write them down here for you guys. Yes, actually, Fitness Pal was one of them, Connie. And I think, I don't know if this is, again, just for iPhone or smartphone or Android. You guys can check it out. But Fitness Pal is one of the top ones. And yes, you have all of them, Connie, the ones that I was going to talk about. The next one is Fujicate, which is a really great one. And you basically just take pictures of your food or different labels, and it will rate it for you in terms of how healthy it is. So it is a great one when you're going shopping and when you're planning or preparing meals if you just don't know if it's a smart choice. Yeah, and that's great. They also have a diabetic version. What else do you guys use? Another one that I read about that looked really great that I have not personally used yet, but I would love to check it out, is Lose It. I'm just writing that. And I'm not sure, again, if it's on the Android platform or iPhone, but I'm sure it's probably both at this point. And all of these are just really great in terms of tracking your calories, your exercise, those kinds of things. Okay, so you replaced Lose It with Fitness Pal. Perfect. Good to know. If a goal is to exercise, let's see. Okay, exactly. Starting small, Randy, and building your way up. And Run Keeper, even though you haven't ran yet, is a good one. I know there's a bunch of different apps for running that will, yes, track how far you're running and all those things for people that want to train. I am not a runner, so I would never have that kind of an app. That's like the last thing I would ever want to do. But for those of you that do want to start small, that's probably a great app. And there's, you know, even if you Google, you know, the top health and wellness apps of 2012, you will come up with a list and kind of see which ones you have, which ones you don't have. Thank you, Amy. The Slim Down Solution. So what does that do, Amy? What is it? What does it monitor for you? I think a lot of the ones that are really great are the food ones. I think people just don't realize what they're eating or how much they're eating or the calorie intake. They just don't realize what they're putting in their mouth. And so it's a great way just to help you to learn and educate in terms of food choices. So yeah, I've never heard of the Slim Down Solution, but like I said, I think it's a great idea to kind of do your own research. Provides an exercise routine to help you meet your goal. Perfect. So yeah, these are all great ideas in terms of helping you and just having that little cheerleader in your pocket at all times. But if you download all of these apps and then you just have them on your phone and you actually never use them, then they're kind of pointless and you might as well not do that. So yeah, if you're going to download them, make sure, again, you have somebody else holding you accountable that will make sure that you're actually checking in with these apps and using them. And a lot of this too is consistency, consistency, consistency. So many of us want to just change our behavior overnight, and we expect ourselves to all of a sudden be able to eat healthier and to exercise all the time and to meditate and to go to these yoga classes. But like any behavior, it takes time for it to become more ritualistic, and it takes time to create new behaviors. So you need to give yourself some time, and you need to give yourself that consistency of knowing that this is something I want to do for my life long term, not a quick fix, not something I just want to do for a little while, but I want to incorporate this into my lifestyle. So know that, and know that it's going to take a while, and that the more you're consistent with it and the more you do it on a regular basis, the more it will become just a natural habit and you won't have to think about it. So yeah, I love what you're saying, Connie, just about tracking things and kind of seeing what you've been doing or not doing. And another thing for those of you that are trying to eat healthier or lose weight, a food journal is the best way to at least jumpstart your weight loss, because just the fact that you have to write down everything you're putting in your mouth, and you're going to see what you're eating and how much you're eating and portion sizes, is a very, very good motivator. And they've done so many studies on people that have done food journals, and that it's really, really helped them in terms of long-term weight loss. Yes, Karen, a food journal is a big wake-up call, because you're not going to want to write down every little, M&M or candy bar or bag of chips, or, I had 2 pops today, whatever it is. It's going to make you just stop for a minute to think if you really want to eat what you're about to eat. Again, as long as you're actually writing everything down. Nobody can do this for you. Nobody can force you to make these lifestyle changes. It's how really committed you are. So my goal was just to offer you these tips today to help jumpstart your success and to really help you, so that you guys that are watching are all in the 8% in terms of people that actually achieve the resolutions this year. So for a recap, oh, that's nice, Connie, that you made your food journal public on FitnessPal. That is perfect. That's part of sharing with the world and putting it out there so other people can hold you accountable. That is awesome. And yes, it's only 8%, and that is scary. All right, guys, so here's just a recap. Write them down or just kind of listen. Be realistic with your goals. Make sure they're realistic. Plan ahead. All right, plan ahead how you're going to achieve these goals. They're not just going to happen. You need to actually plan and schedule them in your calendar, so specifically how you're going to achieve them, and carve out room in your life for these goals. Think of that plate and make sure you get rid of maybe commitments or things that are not as exciting to you anymore, and make room for your goals. Reward yourself is the next tip. Get support and share it with the world is the next one. Do not keep it to yourself, because that's the easiest way to fail. Anticipate some slip-ups. What are some things that could possibly get in your way? And how can I avoid those sabotages? So come up with some ideas on how you can do that as well. And then find an app. Have some apps on your phone that will, again, be like the next version of support. So it's not just yourself or your friends, but you have one more, kind of like a 3-layer tier of support. So find an app that works with you. Put it on your phone. And then lastly, I do want to offer, Connie, you can tell everybody about this because you actually did this. For anybody that really does want to lose weight and improve their health this year, like that is your goal, I am offering a free health consult to anybody watching today. It's a 50-minute consult for free that we get a chat about your health, your lifestyle, what you would love to achieve, what's not working. It's very insightful, it's very inspiring, and it'll give you some really good just aha moments in terms of what you can do to finally achieve some of these health goals and lose some weight. Yes, Connie, most people do admit some of their deepest secrets. And no, Karen, it's not just about losing weight. It's looking at your life as a whole. So anybody, yes, Tammy, even sisters, I would love to. I'm going to give you guys my email, and you just need to email me and say, hey, I would love to do the free health consult, and we will set it up for you. So let me put this in here. There you guys go. There's my email. So no, it's a snapshot of your life as a whole, health, lifestyle, pretty much everything. Connie can kind of attest to that. It's kind of all encompassing. But it's just, you know, not many people will sit down with you for 50 minutes and just talk about you and your life. And so I would love to offer that to you guys. And feel free to share this with your friends. I would love that if you want to do that. Kind of pass the word along in terms of anybody that really wants to set up some great resolutions for the new year, for 2013. And Connie, it gives you a lot to think about. We all need little snapshots of our lives. I think we really do. We need time consistently throughout the year to just kind of reflect on our life, what's working, what's not working, what do I need to make adjustments. And it's just, this is one of those times to kind of start the year on a fresh note, make some adjustments, and go from there. So you guys, let me know. Again, just email me, and we'll set it up for you. It'll be done via the phone or a Skype call, so really doesn't matter where you live. We can still set it up. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I hope you did get some good insight and some good tips on resolutions in terms of, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on, and that you wrote them down. If not, you can rewatch the show, replay it, jot down some notes, and I would love for all of you to be in that 8%. I really would. So even if it's just a couple tips or a couple goals that you commit to, that's better than nothing. So even if it's just one goal, but you're really good at it and you're consistent and you achieve it, I would love to hear your success stories. So I do want to thank you guys. I know how busy everybody is in their lives. So the fact that you hung out with me means a lot. Thank you, Tammy, for hanging out. You guys are all a joy, and keep watching, keep tuned in, and I will let you know what the next show is and what the next topic is. And hopefully we can connect again soon. But I do hope some of you guys take advantage of the health consult. I would love to talk with you all more. And for now, I'm signing off. Thank you, Amy. You guys are great. Everybody have a fabulous day. Enjoy your kiddos, hopefully being back at school, having a little downtime, and go do something nice for yourself. So, Connie, yes, I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.